Hey guys, we're back. So we worked out that technical issue. Apparently, I got cut off when I said that American wrestling more or less makes me miserable, which is why I need to stay away from it because I hate feeling this way. And then we kind of established that you did not watch anything this week. I guess the only other thing that I watched, just touch on it very quickly, I did see Austin Theory teaming up with the Vision, and to give him a modicum of credit, I do think he does a fine curb stop. But that's about it. I don't know how far this push is going to take him or what's going to happen. But that's really all I have to say about that. So now we can move on to politics. And again, don't really know what to say here when it just seems like rich people continue to rule everything.
I
The
mean,
U.S.
this has been a
empire.
pretty big week in terms of like Epstein file shit.
That is true. More and more comes out. Now I'm hearing that there was a file that came out that seemed to link. I don't want to get my facts wrong here because I know how sensitive this whole thing is. But there was a dead woman, I believe in Oklahoma, that is linked back to Trump because she made accusations against him. And it just raises a lot of fucking questions. But I think they all point to the same answer, that there is a concentration of power here and a centralization of resources here that allow these people to pretty much do whatever they want, right? And that's deeply concerning. And so, yeah, more stuff is coming out about, the Epstein files and Trump's connection with Epstein. He made several visits to that island. It has gotten so bad, and like MAGA is drowning so much, like from these revelations and everything. They keep trying to invoke Bill Clinton, but here's the thing: Bill Clinton's own team, his own like reps, came out and said he wants the release of the unredacted files. So, like, either he's thinking, hey, if I'm going down, let's all go down together. Or he's thinking, yeah, I had associations, but I never went to that island, which I would be the first to say I find very suspect. Like, I find that very hard to believe. But I mean, when even Bill Clinton is saying release the unredacted files, when he is the one name on the Democratic side constantly coming out of, MAGA mouths and everything, well, what card do you have left to play at that point? And also, I reiterate for the umpteenth time, that we here on the left do not give a single fuck. Like, honestly, even if you're not on the Epstein file, I probably hate all Democrats and Republicans like serving in office for just varying reasons, whether it's financial bribes, corruption, not listening to the will of the constituency. And yeah, of course, if you're a fucking pedophile, rapist, whatever. So odds are I already hate you for some reason. But if you're in these fucking files, yeah, you need to fucking go. You need to be in prison. A lot of political leaders need to be in fucking prison, whether for sex crimes, war crimes, whatever. We need infrastructure of justice and accountability. I say it every fucking week because this shit keeps happening. So yes, Epstein files were huge. Another thing that I do not want to bury, because God knows I've already been bad enough on the African continent because I still don't know enough about the genocide in Sudan, which is happening, by the way, alongside the genocide in Gaza. But there was a strike done in Nigeria. Trump claims it was go after ISIS to preserve Nigerian Christians. I reiterate, because I said this, I think, nearly a month ago. Nigeria recently voted to nationalize their oil. And then around that time, we start seeing this rhetoric about how Christians are persecuted in Nigeria. I know we have a very intelligent audience. I'm just speaking slowly and emphatically because this is what they do, right? Any pretext for imperialism, any pretext for the seizure of land, resources, whatever, positioning, dominance, whatever, they will do it. In fact, if I'm being perfectly honest and candid with all of you, because we have a very intimate relationship. Some may argue too intimate because I am a weird egg, but it is what it is. I'm actually surprised they offered a pretext. Quite frankly, I'm surprised they even offered the pretense of we've got to protect the Christians, because this regime is so brazen. I just feel like they just do whatever they want anyway. So, like, why bother? And I think they also continue to seize Venezuelan oil tankers because, of course, America is the only nation that needs oil or any of those kinds of resources, and everybody else can fuck off. So, what I feel like we're seeing, because they're still funding Israel, Ukraine, Russia's still a mess. Now we're doing stuff in Nigeria and Venezuela at the same time. When you're stretching this many arms, I know we've talked about military size before and stuff like that, but I am adamant on the fact that this is a sign of a decaying empire. This is a sign of an empire that wants to scoop up as much as it can before whatever it knows is fucking coming, whether it's climate disaster or some kind of geopolitical event or whatever. I really feel like that we are an empire in decline. And the leftist in me loves that. Because, like, I do feel like the American empire needs to die for things to even get a modicum better. But the idea that this is how it dies, just a flaming fucking clown car with these buffoonish people, is really, really something. It's really something. Speaking of buffoonish people, they continue to tear each other apart. Like, Ben Shapiro is at it with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, as I've said before, is at it with everybody. Fucking Erica Kirk. I thought she reined in Candace Owens, but now Candace Owens might be sniping at Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk is completely fucking insane. I saw a video come out that, she was saying, oh, I had never dated before Charlie, and I never really, I don't drink. And she kind of judged her friends who would go on one date and then several hours later go on another date. But then a TikToker exposed Erica's history, both like before she got really intimate with Charlie and even while she was kind of dating Charlie, but not really serious. And yeah, she did all those things. She was still dating. She had an ex before Charlie. She was on a reality show where she drank. Like, these people believe in nothing. And these people, what's really scary, and this TikToker pointed this out, if Erica could lie about something so simple, like it's a completely normal thing to say, oh, I had dated before Charlie, but he was the first one I really felt a connection with. But instead, she just lies about it, right? And like, if you lie about that, what's the actual important stuff that you so easily lie about? And that's something I always want people to keep in mind with these fucking people. So, yeah, and then to circle back to Epstein, Trump apparently took calls for Christmas from kids. And he apparently was quoted at one point saying, "You sound so beautiful and cute. How old are you?" And the girl said 8. And even if it was innocent, when all of this is going on around you, that immediately ages like milk. So I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know what to say anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. I don't know, man. You were the one that broached Epstein. Like, have you been like seeing anything? Do you have any comments you want to offer for this section this week?
Not really, honestly. You pretty much touched on everything that I would have brought up, like the Trump call from the 8-year-old girl thing. And,
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, dude, I have to ask because I've only ever liked 1 or 2 of this woman's songs. How do we feel about the fall of Nicki Minaj this week? Because she tried to do fucking MAGA grift and it blew up in her face immediately.
Yeah.
I know you're a big music guy. How are you feeling about that?
I am a big music guy, but I've never really been that big of a fan of Nicki Minaj, honestly. The voices that she does in a lot of her songs is extremely cringe to me. But I can acknowledge that she is one of the best female MCs of the current generation, maybe even the best female MC of the current generation. And that's just fucking out the door at this point. I mean, fuck, at this point, the best rappers of the current generation might as well be the fucking XG girls. Christ.
Dude, I still watch during PS 118.
Yeah, Rhapsody. Yeah.
That shit has not stopped being fire. I'm probably on double digits for as often as I've listened to that. So thank you again for posting that on our music channel in the Discord, which if you want to get in on the fun, $3 a month for anybody that hasn't joined yet. So yeah, and she hemorrhaged followers and she even canceled her album and nothing of value was lost that day. Right. So, when I look at all these people cannibalizing each other, it does give me a kernel of optimism, truly, because and now there are historians that have come out and said, the Nazis were disorganized and they were idiotic too. And I believe them, right? Any intellectual that actually does the work, because God knows their infrastructure is being dismantled, I'm willing to give a sympathetic ear to. So I don't disbelieve them. I don't discount them. But it is amazing to see that there is just because even the very vision of MAGA itself ideologically is up for grabs, because you have Ben Shapiro, who is very pro-Israel and obviously is Jewish himself. He doesn't want to break away from Israel like most Republican voters and Democratic voters by far want to do, by the way. Israel is fucking cooked as a policy issue here in the U.S., at least as far as, again, the will of the people, which that gets subverted and ignored so often.
Might as well not matter.
You might as well not matter, but it is important to qualify. When it comes to the voting base, Israel is cooked. And when it comes to some people that would want to take over MAGA in the future, i.e. people like Nick Fuentes, which, again, I think those odds diminish each passing day because he cannot help himself. He's like, well, listen, you're already racist against all these other people. I'm just taking it one step further, which never to give any of these people any fucking credit. There is something to that, right? Because Ben Shapiro is so scared about what's going to happen to Jewish conservatives, and Jewish conservatives are sympathetic to Israel. They can never take it one step further in an empathetic sense and be like, oh my God, is this what we do to Muslims? Because they don't genuinely care.
Yeah.
This isn't compassion. This is self-interest and ego, which is why I fucking abhor these people. But yeah, you've got Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes who are like polar opposites, right? And then you got a bunch of people in the middle. You got Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a funny one because he made his whole
How
brand
does
and
he
bread and
still
butter.
have a career?
Dude, I don't know. I actually wonder the same thing as you after all the lawsuits and litigation with Sandy Hook and everything.
Yeah.
How the fuck he's even keeping the lights on? But he is. I don't know. Maybe those fucking the beet juice supplements or whatever the fuck he's peddling is keeping the lights on. I don't fucking know. But he's fascinating, right? Because he made his whole grift, his whole bread and butter, doing conspiracy and kind of leaning into being a meme and overexcitable and look at my face get as red as a tomato and this and that. But now Candace Owens, because here's the thing, and again, I should apologize and just say I was wrong. I really need to stop being me in some ways because I actually gave Candace a sliver of credit because I came on here and I said it seemed like she was the only one that cared about Charlie Kirk because she shared videos of her like dancing with him and laughing with him and stuff like that. And she seemed to be really emotional when he died. You know, that neck pain, man, you got to take care of your neck, people. But you know, to me, she seems like another grifter too, because now she's done this whole series of like, you know, who killed Charlie Kirk and this and that. Now, here's the thing. I too have my questions about what happened because the FBI is led by Kash Patel, who was woefully incompetent, right? But at the same time, like you can tell when people, the difference between genuine questions and trying to connect dots where there just aren't any for the sake of content farming, right? And I feel like Candace is doing the latter. And so she's kind of taken over in my mind that Jones space of conspiracy and everything else. And now Alex Jones, for his part, is starting to correct the record on Candace. So he's almost like become a fact checker. He's done a complete fucking 180. And it is just amazing to see what's happening in the conservative sphere. And the only thing that makes me sad is that obviously we on the far left, like, we're not able to consolidate the kind of media ecosystem that even democratic socialists have. But I am hoping that at least that spectrum of liberalism is really getting its ducks in a row because this infrastructure on the far right is like falling apart. Joe Rogan continues to be further and further irrelevant because he's no longer the curious guy wanting to learn about stuff. He's just glazing billionaires and other people. He apparently even glazed Fuentes recently. And I'm like, that helps. You know, just keep platforming the fucking avowed Nazi. You know, that's cool. They continue to get everything wrong. I mean, Stephen Miller put out something about watching the Frank Sinatra Christmas special with his children, who can watch this and think that we need immigrants like to infinity in America, not realizing that Sinatra himself was an immigrant. But again, like that image I posted, they don't care about being hypocrites. They care about power. And that's the thing. If exposing hypocrisy could defeat them, we would have had utopia fucking years ago. But yeah, it's anti-intellectual. It's fucking cannibalizing, and I don't know how much of us or just kind of the administrative state that makes this society function they're going to take with it, because it sure seems to be a hell of a chunk. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if the left really ever had a chance. I wish we had our shit together like a decade ago, you know, like online and in terms of our media ecosystem. Because my God, these people are taking themselves out, and it's quite delicious. The only problem is that when you look at liberalism, Gavin Newsom and people like that who can meme, sure, and can do the online rhetorical game well, but policy, they're fucking awful. They're awful to trans people. They're awful to homeless people. You know, they're awful to the people that we should be protecting and having solidarity around. They're like the front runner for fucking presidency on that side. So it's really just very tiring, honestly, because even the hope, you have to qualify it and say, well, you know, and that's kind of where we are. So yeah, that's essentially it for politics. I can't really think of any other big news. I mean, you know, because all the other stuff that comes from liberals and like accounts like that, I hate it because it's almost clickbaity. Like, oh, Trump is finished. And it's like, oh my God, really? What happened? And it's just another new bad poll number. Like, we get it. He's underwater on every issue. When is something material going to happen? Whether actual impeachment or just him croaking because he's very clearly like being held together by duct tape and whatever miracle drugs they're pumping him with, or whatever the fuck. Like, we just need to get serious, you know. And I just think a lot of people are just looking at this moment to be like, oh, look, content, and it's like, fuck. But yeah,
I mean,
that's essentially,
but if we're
yeah,
ready to move on, I want to just throw one last little cute little thing that I saw that is related to politics in here.
of course.
Miss Rachel has been officially named to Zohran Mamdani's inaugural committee.
I'm glad you brought that up because I saw that and I thought that was great. I mean, my God, what they have put this woman through for just caring about Palestinian children. Children! Fucking unhinged. Zionism is unhinged. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move on to pop culture stuff because politics just makes me fucking sick. Yeah, I mean, God, we did Klaus as far as the holidays. We watched that movie. If you guys have not watched Klaus, it's on Netflix. Greatest holiday movie that I've just ever seen. It's beautiful, it's heartwarming, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Excellent voice cast, beautiful animation. Could not ask for anything else. I know, Ashton, I think you've said it's your favorite Christmas movie ever. It's the one movie I think you and I would be in for every year. I know your mom loves it. So, yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Seriously. Pluritus is obviously
the Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell Christmas movie, Spirited.
That was also really good.
Yeah,
that was better than I expected it to be. I quite like that one. I didn't. Yeah, looking at the poster, I'm like, am I gonna like this? But yeah, you know what? Songs were fun. I liked Ryan Reynolds' character. I know Ryan Reynolds is one of those actors that like you could take him or leave him.
He basically plays himself in every fucking movie.
Yeah, and you know what though? For right now, it's working. He hasn't really, for me, suffered the Dwayne Johnson effect where I'm like, okay, what else? But yeah, no, it was good. But then as far as music, I still haven't listened to Polo G's new album, and I don't think I've listened to any new music. I actually did check out or I re-listened to some Sixpence the Richer, and it kind of gave me the mood to listen to their stuff that I've never listened to. But then I listened to one song and I'm like,
Kissed Me, right?
Yeah, exactly. And my personal favorite, There She Goes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Big fan of that song too. Yeah, they're good.
And I tried to listen to other ones outside of those two because those are the two that I know primarily. And then the first one I clicked on, it kind of took me out of the mood because I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. So, no offense to them. I'm sure they have a lot of good stuff. It's just I'm very picky, and my mind is so
moved on
like
to music, but I do want to also just bring up that we also watched Violent Night, and that was fantastic, actually.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, this is pop culture, bro. So if you want to zig and zag, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. As far as pop culture, as far as sports, I watched Naoya Inoue's fight against Picasso this morning. Inoue is a fucking beast, bro. Do you remember when I told you before I hung up with you that I thought Inoue might lose because Picasso actually had a reach advantage?
Yeah.
That reach advantage never came into play, bro. Dude, Inoue, I think, put Picasso on the defensive so much. It's not like Picasso didn't try and hit him. Like, of course he tried to go for his strikes, but like where he would go for single strikes and then go back into like a guarding position, Inoue was putting strings together, bro. Like,
nice.
He's insane. He's insane. I really do think he's the best boxer in the world right now. And yes, I'm a hardcore fucking casual, but like,
I wish Inoue was bigger, man. It would be great to see him get a shot to go against some of the bigger guys like Canelo.
Yeah, for sure. I know his next big fight, which may be his final fight, is going to be in May in the Tokyo Dome against Nakatani, who also had a fight prior to Inoue, like on the same card. Yeah. And he had a fight on the same card as Inoue. His was the semi-main, and that was actually far closer. I actually wish I would have watched that one. Nakatani actually did get beat up. Like, I think his eye was like swollen, but he won. Nice. The only gripe I had, well, I had two gripes at the Inoue fight, none of which were with Inoue. I got my proverbial money's worth with him. He put his back into that. In fact, I even told Angel, I said that was the best Inoue fight I've seen, just being able, like on a technical level, seeing more of Inoue's technique and everything else. My two problems were Picasso was so unimpressive. Like, here's a young guy, great fucking shape, has a reach advantage, and I'm like, I think he's feeling to show me something. Like, I think Inoue is really going to be challenged here. I think Inoue smoked him, and that leads to the second thing I had a problem with. It went to decision, so they went all 12 rounds. The final score was 111 to 117 in favor of Inoue. Now, yeah, Inoue won, but I feel like it shouldn't have been anywhere near that close. The best round Picasso had to me was the 12th round, and not even the whole 12th round. I would say more the final 30 to 40 seconds. And so I don't know where those scores came from, because even on one judge's scorecard that we were allowed to see, Picasso up to that point had not won a single round. I don't even know if he won the 12th round, because obviously when it ended, they just go to decision after that. But yeah, when they give you the updates, the little graphics, Inoue was fucking smoking him. And yes,
Oh,
Terrence
dude,
Crawford is retired.
from
Divorce.
what I understand, I don't know if this applies to Japanese boxing, but boxing uses a system where judges award 10 points to the winner of a round and 9 points to the loser.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That's
So,
how it was last night. Yeah.
I mean, if it went round, what you said it went 12 rounds, right?
Yes, correct.
So that means that Inoue won 9 rounds and Picasso won 3.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's very again, I find that absurd just from the fight that I watched. I really feel like Inoue just dominated, but
Right.
I mean, yeah, he still won at the end of the day. That's all that matters. So yeah, that was a great fight.
Or actually, you know
Um,
what? How many judges were there? Was it 2 or 3?
I feel like it was three. I feel like it was a three
So then
judge panel.
realistically what probably happened was um between the 3 judges combined, there were 6 instances between the 3 judges combined where they felt that Picasso won a single round. So like, it could have been that there was just one dude on that 3-person panel who thought that Picasso won 6 of the 12 rounds, while the other 2 were unanimous. Just it was just in a way every single round, or it could have been like 2-2-2. You know what I mean? Like it probably got spread out.
Yeah, I think you're right and you're sensible, but that judge, maybe stop being a mark. That's what my scorecard
How
says.
did I know you
So,
were going to say that?
I just love turning up when you're rational, except when it's in my own best interest. Then I want to obviously treat you with the respect you deserve. But when it's about things that I'm very clearly turned up about, no, I'm going to bare teeth and show face.
Nice. I love the
Um,
face and the teeth.
Yay! I also watched Double Toasted. It's a movie review channel that I have these periods where I like stay away from them and then I like get back into them. Well, I'm in my getting back into period for the time being, and I watched Corey Coleman's top 10 worst movies of 2025. The the number one movie was Amazon's War of the Worlds. But I have to mention number three though, because number three, and Ash and I were kind of talking about this movie because BHL Hudson, another movie guy that we watch, talked about this. Hurry Up Tomorrow, the Weeknd's movie. And I don't know if anybody's seen this. And I just want to make it clear. I fucking love The Weeknd. His music, I listen to that shit when I'm high. I listen to that shit when I'm working out or doing dishes. I wouldn't say I listen to The Weeknd every day, but I listen to him a lot. Like, I love the song Often. Heartless is a great one. I want to thank, I think it was 2K24, WWE that, introduced me to that song. Blinding Lights is good. Take My Breath. WrestleMania also has used The Weeknd a lot. Gasoline. Weeknd as an artist is great, is my point. This movie, though, like I've seen clips from it. What the fuck is going on over there? What are you doing, my guy? And like, he apparently was so proud of this movie. He said this movie was why the album got made. And all I could sit here and think was, don't do your last album like that. Don't put that on your last album. Yeah, so that got number three worst movies. I'm curious if any Weekend fans, if there are any Weekend fans in our chat, mind you, saw that movie or just saw clips from it and were like, I am staying the fuck away from that. I would love to hear from you. But I think I've prattled on in this section enough. What have you been up to, Ashton, music-wise or stuff like away from me? I know you and your mom recently watched all of Silicon Valley. How was that experience for you guys?
Yeah,
Now
we
that you've
did.
watched it.
I fucking
Yeah.
love that show, man. It's really really good. I mean, there are definitely moments in that show where I want to scream at my television because Richard is either just such an asshole or just so painfully awkward. Um, but God, Erlich Bachman, fantastic. Guilfoyle, fantastic. But the MVP of Silicon Valley by far, Jared Dunn, aka Donald Dunn. What a goddamn king! I fucking love that guy so much. Um, to this day, I think his greatest line in the history of that show was, "Do you want to die today, motherfucker?"
Yes. Iconic.
I love that so much. I think that might have even been in season 6. But man, just such a fun show. Gavin Belson, like low key, I was so caught up in my feelings just hating his fucking guts when we actually were watching the show actively that I didn't really appreciate how charismatic and how good of a heel he is. He is awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Such a fun piece of shit that's so easy to hate. And man, he goes down swinging too. Good God. Um, yeah, really really fun show. And also the one thing that we've watched that we haven't mentioned yet is we are currently 2 episodes away from finishing season 1 of the new Apple TV show Pluribus.
I really wish we could have finished season 1 before coming on here. I know you were tired last night, and I also put it on me today because I had a late start because of the boxing fight, and I just really wasn't in the headspace to like get into it. But I know tonight we will finish it. What an amazing fucking show, though, y'all. Like, I don't want to speak too authoritatively until we finish season 1 completely, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say just how I feel right now. Anybody that's heard me like in the Discord or even on here, I think my favorite series this year that we got to watch and experience is Dawn to Dawn, without a doubt. Like, I adore that show. I think about that show constantly. I don't think there is a day that goes by where there isn't at least a moment where I'm like, I really hope to see 2027 to see season 3 of that show. You know, a show is special though when it gets me to stop thinking about Dawn to Dawn for a little bit. And that's how good this show is. I'll tell you something, bro, because I've gone back and I've watched clips that we've already seen, so as not to spoil myself, just to get like a gauge of the comments and everything. I love the level of conversation that this show is provoking in people. I mean, even you, me, and your mom last night were talking about hive mind or no hive mind. Like, what would you prefer to just be you, or would you prefer to assimilate with the hive mind? And like, I just love the level of conversation happening. I love the level of ideas that Vince Gilligan is playing with. Credit to Vince Gilligan. I mean, between Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and now this, which is such a distinctive property from the other two. Um, it's masterful. I'm loving it. I don't even know necessarily. And here's the strange thing, and I want to ask you this in a second because I realized we never actually asked this of each other. It's a show where, like, I don't have a favorite character. It's more like my favorite part about it is just the concept itself, just being in this world and seeing how human beings that are unaffected are navigating it. I think that's my favorite part. So what about you, man? Would you say you have a favorite character present, or is it just more of the conceptual stuff that really allures you? Like, what about your
I mean,
experience?
my favorite character is the hive mind, honestly. I
Yeah.
think that's just it. I mean, if you make me pick an individual, I would probably say Zosha. But
Yeah. She's great. Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, I really do just enjoy kind of getting to experience secondhand what a hive mind of every person on earth would look like and what they would talk like, and like especially with how accommodating they are. Like, I love it, man. I think it's great.
Dude, absolutely. Dude, John Cena's cameo. Like,
Dude,
I'm still
I
laughing
also
thinking about that.
love that, like, he it's John Cena, but then when the dude is like, as John Cena explained, of course Carol had to be like, that's not actually John Cena.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm loving the premise. I really can't wait to see how this shakes out. And yeah, I agree with everything you said. Honestly, I should probably get off of this subject because I'm loving this show so much. We could do a whole video essay on it. It could be its own show, honestly. We could be a pluribus after episode kind of podcast, but I know there are already too many people in that space. But it's fantastic. If you guys have not watched it and you want some higher concept sci-fi and you want a different twist on post-apocalypse that isn't like heavily depressing, but still just the right amount of
No, but I
unnerving.
think that's what I love about it though, is that like it's like, okay, what if there was a zombie apocalypse, but the zombies were intelligent, non-aggressive, and only turn you into a zombie to join them if you gave them your consent. That's basically what we're dealing with here. I like, oh yeah, and also we're totally passive. Not, I guess that would be impossible since the only way to turn someone into a zombie is to bite them. But yeah,
Right.
like it's just crazy, man. I love that we've basically got like, I mean, it's almost less zombie and more like Last of Us, because like in The
Yeah.
Last of Us, like there's no like violence required for somebody to become a part of the hive mind. They just, get infected and then they're just in, you know?
Yeah, bro, I gotta tell you, and I don't know, like, I don't want to speak for you, and plus, I feel like you already knew a good bit about it because I know you've been like kind of educating me and definitely like walking me through things because there are times I forget like the deeper implications of what a hive mind actually means. But this show has actually instilled in me a curiosity on a biological level. Like I would love to watch a documentary with you about like ants or just like an organism that
Bees.
is like part of a greater
Yes.
bees. I'd love to do that with you. If we just had nothing else to do, I would just be like, you want to watch like a hive mind documentary or something? And then I
Yeah.
would assume you'd be like, yes, and we do that. Like it's genuinely instilled that desire in me to do that. And I just really have to commend the show for that because when it makes you so curious about something that you're like, man, why couldn't humans be a hive mind? You know, like,
Well,
dude, it
that's
would just
the
solve so
crazy
many
thing
fucking
though is
problems.
that this movie or this show is almost scratching an itch that I already had because for years now, and I really do credit Tirzu actually for this. I have been very like morbidly curious about eusocial creatures, and really that mostly does just come down to like termites, ants, bees. You know, like there aren't, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any eusocial mammals or reptiles or fish or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. Now there might be some fish that are kind of eusocial because they will like cluster together to look larger than they really are in order to ward off predators and stuff like that. But like true eusociality in the sense that like any individual is willing to give up their life to preserve the greater good, that is like crazy shit to me. And I've been very interested in that and morbidly curious about that for years now. And even to the point that like I've wondered, like, I wonder what a human society would look like if we ever managed to achieve the level of ego death required to actually hit eusociality. And I just don't think it's possible. But now Pluribus is like, haha, we can make it possible through our fiction.
Right though, like I think you're absolutely right. I even said to you because I haven't contributed to this series in a while. The last time I contributed was Pokemon and philosophy, but there is a book series that brings together like popular culture titles, whether video games, anime, whatever, and philosophical concepts. And I said Pluribit was like made for that series, like 1000%, because I think there are so many conversations to have about identity, about cooperation, about
Yeah.
isn't what is individuality really worth, especially when I brought up the point to you and your mom in a country like ours that really stresses hyper individuality. Let's be real, not all individualism is created equal. Elon Musk gets to be far more of an individual than the average trans person, whether they're in a red or a blue state. Quite frankly, I would say more in a blue state on average. But I mean, God, I was reading. I don't know how long ago this was, but Texas was making a list of trans people. Now, you tell me, far right fucking government and making lists of certain people, that's usually a recipe for fucking disaster, to put it mildly. So, yeah, like even the individuality stuff is a bunch of garbage because that is also a material issue. Like everything else comes back to some material issue, the material issue being capitalism, resource hoarding, et cetera, et cetera. So, what really is the worth of individuality if we don't even all get to experience it equally anyway? And that was kind of the argument I made to your mom because your mom was like, I don't really know if I would assimilate. Like, I get where Carol, is coming from, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just look at the world and I look at where we're progressing globally and certainly domestically, and I'm like, at that point, like to me, being part of a hive mind is kind of the Hail Mary. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're not going to do anything else. Fuck it, let's do this. It's kind of the same Hail Mary that people that believe in alien life, like if they were to descend, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. Take over our government. You literally cannot be any worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I adore this show. Again, it really is a special property when you can have me not actively missing Don to Don and actually thinking about something else with like an enthusiasm and an itch of like, I want more. Because the only other show, and it's crazy that they're both Apple originals. So I don't want to glaze Apple too hard because again, they're another like capitalist fucking malevolent monolith, but they have two worthwhile fucking series in this and Severance. And I'm like, they're just fucking killing it, man. God damn, it is the place for like quality sci-fi content, clearly. So
Yeah,
there was
Apple
that.
Apple TV was also the streaming service that we got to watch The Lost Bus on.
Yes, which was a great movie itself. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I just amazing. Amazing. So yeah, check out Pluribus if you haven't, because I think it is such an amazing concept. And I'd be curious for those that are willing to check it out, hive mind or no hive mind. Where do you sit on that? So
That's like the
yeah,
big question. Yeah, but like
yeah,
I also think it's really interesting how like even even in the show, the hive mind is not perfect. Like the hive mind is willing to give Carol a grenade, and it did, and it fucked it up. Willing to give, I mean, even to the extent of they were willing to give her an atom bomb if she genuinely wanted one. And
Yes.
like, but then also even just like the idea that like they are driving themselves to extinction by refusing to damage any living thing, even to the point that they refuse to pick fruits off of trees, which, like, the fruit is literally designed to get picked so that it could spread its leaves or to spread its seeds. That's the point of fruit. It is literally designed to taste sweet, to be appealing to animals that move around so that they can eat it and then shit it out elsewhere so that whatever that tree or plant is, its seeds can move around and grow elsewhere. It is literally the design of a fruit, and this hive mind refuses to do that.
Yeah. I love the way it answers questions, like,
The way that it
you
will
know,
hear a question and then just kind of sit there and look down and think about it and then answer it. I love that because it's like it is thinking through every possibility, every outcome, and it's probably also kind of internally like asking all of the different individual memories that are a part of it, that are like experts in whatever the question is being asked, experts in like social engineering, etc., what the correct answer would be. I love that they like every time a question is asked, there's like a moment of hesitation.
you're not cannibals. That would be our preference, yes. What a weird way to answer that question. Oh, I know nobody will get this reference, but it's me. It's me drinking HDP. I know you'll get it because I popped you with that last night. But yeah, dude, this show's fucking great. Oh my god. Oh man. So let me think. Not really super blue. I have to know what the hell about, and I low key read that in Booker T voice to be just
What
completely
the
transparent
hell?
with you. Yeah. Oh, book. Um, yeah. What else we fucking doing? Because I know we're kind of changing up our game on series so that we could just binge series now. This way we don't have to do like a
Yes,
lot of
which
like
is why we have
recollection or
not
whatever.
watched Stranger Things episodes 4 through 6 yet. We're
Yeah.
gonna get around to that after the final episode drops on Wednesday or Thursday. I guess
Yes.
Thursday.
Okay.
We'll have
Okay.
all kinds of Stranger Things stuff to talk about on our next weekly recap.
So I really don't have anything else to really add. Do you have anything else that you would like to add for this section before we get to Q&A here?
I don't think. Oh, XG dropped a new song, and it is beautiful. It's called Four Seasons.
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
is it is beautiful. It is an acoustic sad song written by one of their major producers about his mother who died this year.
Aw, see, I didn't know. I guess the lore, the backstory of the song, and so yeah, that is sad. Rest in peace to her. But I mean, what a
Yeah,
beautiful piece of music, and what a beautiful piece of artistry.
yeah.
So yeah, big ups to him.
All right. I think we can move on if you want to get to Q&A.
Yes, yes, please, because we got 7 questions from Super Blue.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Q&A, aka the Super Blue Variety Hour.
Oh yeah, let's get all those shades of blue, baby.
But most importantly, the shade that is super.
Yes. All right, first question.
Do you think Pam Bondi gets impeached?
No. I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing that it might have bipartisan support, but still no. Like everything is so broken, and I know like
Yeah,
I'm
it's going to
biased
have
because I'm very
bipartisan
cynical.
support to the degree that every Democrat will vote for it, and the exact number of Republicans that makes them one short of it actually going through will vote for it.
Precisely. I know my cynicism can be very tiring, but counterpoint, give me something to believe in. So there you
Yep.
go.
We are on the
Next
same
question.
page here for sure.
I love
Next
that
up,
for us.
so is Iron Man coming back, or are they just doing Steve versus Evil Stark, aka Doctor Doom?
Confession. the use of the term "evil Stark" popped me just a little bit. I giggled inside. And that's what I think is essentially happening. And hearing you kind of pop a little popped me even harder. I think they are just doing Steve versus evil Stark, and I'm just gonna say it again at the
No,
risk of sounding
you know
like a
what? You finish your thought, and then I have a thought.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up quick so that you don't lose the thought. I'm still disappointed that they just got Robert Downey Jr. to be Doctor Doom. I feel like that's so lazy. Like I'm still gonna hold it against them, to be honest. But
You
what
know,
were you going to say, good sir?
I actually am very curious where they're going with this, because if this ends up being a situation where Steve going back in time to drop off all of the Infinity Stones and then choosing to stay in the past so that he could get to live his life with Peggy leads to Tony becoming Doctor Doom in that timeline. And as we know, Doctor Doom is a master of both tech and sorcery, which also probably means that he would be able to see other universes, other timelines. So he would probably have a fucking problem with Steve in that timeline, and then he would see Steve jump timelines to the original timeline that we are already in the MCU. I think it's 626, and be like, no, you don't. You're not getting away from me that easy. And he figures out a way to jump into that timeline as well. So essentially, Steve's quote unquote selfishness, which is really just him wanting to basically retire as an Avenger and live his life that he feels like he's owed, and he probably is owed, leads to the creation of this evil version of Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, which also then leads to an incursion because of all of the universe hopping that they would be doing. I think that's the direction they're probably going to go with it, and I find that very interesting personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. And I think you bring up a point. Like, I want to thank you for reminding me about that he also knows sorcery, because really, I guess it doesn't matter who plays Doom. I just want to see Doom be Doom. Like, I want to see the whole wealth of his knowledge and his abilities. I'd still love to see just a standalone Doom film with him running Latveria and just doing all that. Like, there's just so much to do with this character. He has been
I feel
woefully
like they missed
underutilized.
out on so many opportunities, honestly. Like,
Yes.
the opportunity to do the origin story of the Fantastic Four correctly in a way that a lot more people will actually see it pisses me off that they didn't do that. They just jumped right in.
Yeah.
Also, the opportunity to do Doctor Doom's origin story, where we can really like see how he becomes Doctor Doom. We can see him lose his mother and then go fucking crazy trying to bring her back to life. Like, we should be able to see all this shit, but naturally, the MCU seems to just expect all of the people watching their movies to have been avid comic book readers, and they don't give a fuck about accessibility anymore, and that's why they're starting to fail more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I guess that wraps up my question about that. So I don't know if you want to say any more about question 2, but I'm good to move on to question 3.
Question 3: why does the My Pillow guy think he has a chance to win the Minnesota governor race?
I don't know. He's delusional and like warped from reality like the rest of them. The funny thing is, Super Blue, if he would have made this bid when MAGA was at its peak, I actually would have thought he had a real shot. But like he
Like
has the stench on him.
2018, 2020, maybe even 2022.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's doing it too late, honestly, because again, Trump is underwater on
Hell,
every
even
fucking
last year,
issue.
even if he would have tried to do it last year, he probably would have been able to pull it. Although I don't know when was Walls elected.
That's a good question. Oh,
He was elected in 2018. So yeah,
I was gonna say 2018.
if the
Yeah.
My Pillow guy would have challenged him then, yeah, he would have been fucked.
Yeah. But like now, MAGA's in fucking shambles. He personally has always been a fucking joke, Mike Lindell. Um, and yeah, he sounds coked out of his mind, probably because, I mean, let's be honest, he's got to be doing something. Ain't no way you live as this guy's been living, like in his own head and stuff, not on something in my mind. And yeah, I feel like he's gonna get blown out. If he wins, there's got to be some serious tampering there, or the state's just more gone than I thought. But I feel like Walls, whatever my misgivings of him in the aftermath of the campaign and how he handled Mangione's alleged crimes against United Healthcare, I think he's still a very popular governor domestically. He was the most popular guy in the fucking presidential race between him, Vance, Kamala, and Trump. So if it's not a blowout in favor of Walls, I'll be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked. So yeah, he's probably coked out of his mind, Super Blue, and that's why he thinks he has a chance to win. Do you have anything you want to add to this question, or can we move on to question 4?
I honestly think that even if Tim Walz wasn't in the race, his lieutenant governor could run and absolutely blow the fucking doors off Mike Lindell.
Well said.
I forget what her name is, but she's fantastic.
Yes. I think I've heard of her a little
Peggy
bit.
Flanagan, that's her name. Peggy Flanagan.
Okay.
Yeah, she's native. She's actually like a Native American.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, she's great. Wait, did I see that she is running in 2026?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to verify that real quick.
Oh, she actually is running for the U.S. Senate in 2026. That's what's going
on. Okay.
Like the actual, like the full on, like, you know, there's only 100 of them type Senate.
Okay.
Question 4.
So,
how do you feel about the orange dumbass comments on Rob Reiner being the last straw for Mick Foley, but not anything else he's done this year?
I think just very quickly, it shows the prevalence of respectability politics. Because so much, I think, has been internalized and normalized as business as usual. You know, drone strikes in other countries, seizing other people's assets, and by that I mean like oil, natural gas, stuff like that. But like respectability politics dictates that you do it quietly, right? You don't tweet bombastically about it. You don't make a grand show out of it. You just kill people silently. You know, except for their screams, of course. And so yeah, and that's. I mean, hell, you know, I know that's dark, but so's liberalism underneath. You scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds.
Ooh, that's a
yeah.
line. Where'd you get that line from?
That line's been on the left for a while. That line's been on the left for several years, and I
if
find
I've
it to be
ever
true
heard
a
it
lot.
before, I don't remember.
Well, there you go. Well, at least you know of it now, and you liked it, so that's the important thing. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, like this is why I've always hated civility politics, aka you know, or respectability politics, essentially the same thing, where it's like you can do all the things that we've internalized as presidential. Of course, our president's going to bomb other countries. Every president has. Okay, but why though? Like, why can't we have a different foreign policy, a more cooperative foreign policy, a more compassionate foreign policy? Well, because. Yes. No, that was it. And you know, it's like that's why without the
What do you
respectability
want from me? That should be
yeah,
what you need.
exactly. Without the respectability politics, I mean, this is why again I've been saying I really can't stand liberal because they don't really have a theory of anything. And why I love laughing at him is because he's genuinely hilarious. How cringy he is. Aaron Sorkin really is the perfect quintessence of liberalism. It's like the institutions are already perfect. We just need kinder, cuddlier people to be running them. It's like, oh,
bro,
God,
low-key, I kind of want to watch The West Wing with you, but as a comedy.
Yay, dude, yes.
Because I feel like we would get a lot of actual entertainment value out of that show.
Bro, I watched, I think, the first 2 seasons of The West Wing. And the thought of doing that again with you, yes. Because here's the thing. I don't know how long you'd even last, but however long you would, that tone, oh, it would be finger licking fucking good. Holy shit. Because the problem with The West Wing, if I may, is that it really is. It's the liberal fantasy where government solves everything in the nick of time. And the big problem with liberalism, if I'm being serious, I know I have a lot of fun because mainly I just want to cry half the time. It's that when I say they don't have a theory of anything, I really don't think they can think beyond individual psychology. Like even with Trump, right? Does it ever scare you that they're fixating so much on him as an individual and not the system that produces him? Because I am. I'm terrified that they're like hyperfixating on he's a bad man and maybe like the people around him are bad people.
I guess I just view it as the system that produced Donald Trump is just a system that desperately wanted to break out of business as usual, and he just happened to be the first person to step up and be like, yeah, things are fucked up. We need to change things. Things need to go. He was talking about drain the swamp and shit. And then, yeah, like 2024, he had already gotten the cult and he was the change candidate.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you, there has been, I don't know this user's name and I wish I could remember, but like my Facebook feed has been recommending me this guy that talks about economics, and like he says there are economists that are calling this the silent depression because there's a disparity and it's been happening for a while. This is not a new thing, right? You could maybe even say maybe it's been going on over a decade. I don't know. It feels like it's been going on forever, right? What economists are calling like the micro macro disparity. So let me explain. You'll hear a lot on news headlines and everything. And I know we were talking about like Rob Reiner and Mick Foley. I'm going to try and bring this all back together. I promise. It's going to be my toughest challenge yet. But they were talking about the micro macro distinction because you'll hear on the news stock market at an all time high, unemployment at an all time low. And yet you'll look at your bank account, you'll look at your personal finances, and you'll realize like, well, I'm still paying off student loan debt. I can't afford healthcare. Healthcare is awful. I got to put this off. But yet, if I wanted to indulge in cheap goods, whether like fast food, although that's increasingly not becoming the case, like fast food's going up, or like this kind of t-shirt or this thing, that seems more accessible to me than necessities. And that's by design at this point, because the whole thing with hyperconsumerism is to keep people distracted, either from their own pains or just the very inequities built into this system. And that's what economists are calling a silent depression, because while the macro structures are doing great, on a microcosmic level, when you look at families, individuals, stuff like that, the struggle is fucking real. And the most they can do is base consumerism, again, like fast food, fast fashion, whatever, to distract themselves, because I can't get that root canal, or I can't get that physical, or whatever. And yeah, it's a very real phenomenon that's been going on for a long time. And to come back with like why Rob Reiner, it's because we always seem to respond sentimentally first and with like a kind of moral outrage, but even that at times can be tepid. At other times, like I will say this to the credit of America and Americans who had the courage to do it. I did not think Palestine would provoke the response that it did. I really didn't. I thought it would maybe get like a mention from some people and then they would move on. The idea that Palestine has sustained the kind of solidarity and everything, I look at that as truly like an outlier and truly anomalous personally.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, I think we're just conditioned. And even with the genocide, to be fair, I think there's been a condition of, well, they're still dropping the bombs, they're still violating ceasefires. Like, what can we do? It's like there is just this line that we have been psychologically conditioned not to cross, because if the problem can't be solved through consumerism or respectability politics or electoralism or the already like design toolkit, then politics is just done. Like, well, I guess there's just no more politics we can do. It's just we just can't seem to take that one step further. And Mick, he left, and good for Mick, I guess. I've always been a fan of his. I don't want to go too hard on him, but like, of course, right? Because Rob Reiner was an American. He made cinema. He contributed to culture. He's more proximal to us. There's more humanity by proximity in Rob Reiner than there is in the Nigerian that probably got bombed and killed by Trump recently. And it's disgusting, but it just seems to be a social fact of American life. Not to mention the details of Rob Reiner's death in particular were harrowing, because it does seem like the son did it to both him and Rob Reiner's wife, the son's mother. And it's grueling because there was contentious history there trying to help the son through addiction and homelessness. And Trump making it about himself. Like, even Nick Fuentes criticized him for it. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You've openly said that you think Hitler is cool. But again, right, it's like, it's that proximity. It's, I need to look respectable or this and that. And it's like, it's such bullshit because it doesn't get us anywhere. Not that Trump should have said what he said. Like, obviously it's disgusting, but like, we have bigger problems. we have bigger problems than a guy that's always been foul-mouthed, being foul-mouthed, because this isn't even the first time he's disrespected somebody. He said to a reporter, "Quiet, piggy." During his first election, he mocked a disabled reporter. He's been a eugenicist for a long fucking time. He pointed at a black Trump voter and he said, "That's my black guy right there," which that's a bit discomforting, right? Like, he's made endless comments. Rosie O'Donnell, that whole thing. Like, this isn't new for him, right? And so, yeah, I'm like, it's just funny to me that everybody got an uproar on this. It's like, where the fuck have you been the last 8 fucking years? Like, where have you been? Like, it's just really annoying, honestly. But that's all that for me. What question even was that? That was question 4. Do you have anything you want to add to my ranting and raving while nothing changes?
No.
No. Okay, perfect. Question 5 then.
1 year later, do you feel justified about the New Day turning on Biggie was a mistake?
You go first on this one because I talked so much that last one.
I mean, yeah, like they used Big E's terrible situation to generate heat for the New Day, and to what ends? Like the New Day are heels, and Big E is still not on my television, and it just feels like nothing was accomplished. So you basically hurt Big E's feelings for nothing. It was just a shitty thing to do. Like it's just, you know, we should have known then where the company was fucking heading.
I just gotta say, this is gonna be so like wild out of left field. You really would make a great parent because the way you just said, like, you hurt Big E's feelings for nothing. Like, I felt bad. I didn't even do shit. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, damn, they really did. They really hurt his feelings for nothing. I'm like, when you put it that way, fuck, what a waste. And I will say for my own part, Super Blue, it's so funny you asked this question now because I have been listening to Kofi Kingston's SOS theme, which is fucking fire all these years later. I still love that fucking theme. And I miss babyface Kofi because I think Kofi is just so naturally likable. Like, I don't want to dislike you. And Woods, too. Woods seems like a cool fucking dude. I don't want to dislike you guys. What the fuck? So, yeah, it was a waste. And Big E didn't even come back, which I really thought, oh my God, is he coming back? No, he's living his best life, which good for him. God only knows. But, like, I miss Big E, too. You know, that fucking Wale theme was fire. I wanted to hear more of that. I wanted Big E to win more world titles. I wanted him to maybe get revenge on Brock Lesnar. And now Brock Lesnar just gets to go away, you know, still making a shit ton of money, having ruined the New Day, fucking doing other far worse things. And yeah, it's all very depressing, Super Blue. So yeah, fucking waste. Next question.
Will Cody finally start getting booed next year, or is it irrelevant because you're over the WWE?
Yes. Just yes on both counts. I do think he will start getting booed. I feel like it's already started happening. And yeah, it is relevant because WWE can chortle our balls. It's especially irrelevant for this guy. This guy has the good sense to just not even touch the product. Me, I might tune in every once in a while, and when I hear Cody get booed, I might vinegar stroke, but there's no guarantee. So yeah, I would just say yes on both counts.
I mean, at this point, I'm not willing to bet on Cody getting booed because every time it seems like he's starting to, the WWE pulls another trick out of their asses to keep the crowd excited about him.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. So yeah, I guess that's that. I think we're on the final question from Super Blue. So,
What are you looking forward to in 2026?
well, just on a personal level, reading more philosophy. I've got a book coming in that I pre-ordered next year that I'm excited about. Playing more of the wonderful fucking handheld that Ashton got me. I played some Sly Cooper today, and that was quite nice. That was
Oh, the
fucking
first one,
nostalgic.
Thievius Raccoonus?
Indeed, yes,
Nice.
indeed, yes, indeed. And that's definitely I'm acclimating to that right away. I'm probably going to get a lot of playtime on that. And I also played more Here Comes the Pain last night, but I kind of stepped
Nice.
away because the season was starting to get a little repetitive. I had a lot of matches against Eddie Guerrero as Chris Benoit, and it kind of hurt my soul because I'm like, I wanted to form a tag team with you, but you wanted to take my world title from me, and we had a last man standing match, and it was a lot.
Did
Man.
you win?
I did. But man, I will say this about Here Comes the Pain: the most challenging last man standing mode. Like I think in any WWE game I've ever played, because I even remember when I would go over to my friend Sean's house and we would play it. Neither one of us could beat the other in a last man standing match because whatever the programming, you'd always get up at like 8 or 9. But I actually finally managed to take Eddie down, and it was my trifecta German move. It wasn't even with like steel steps or a steel chair. I hit him so many times in the skull with a steel chair. I busted him open, and he'd constantly get up. Sometimes even at like 5. But no, 3 Germans and it's a 10 count. Fuck you. But yeah, I played a lot of that last night. Played some Thievius Raccoonus today. So yeah, definitely going to get more handheld time in. Again, philosophy, like I said, hoping to write and get something published. The big thing for me is the final season of The Boys. I can't wait for that next year, and Invincible as well. I think those two things are really going to hard carry 2026 culture wise. And as far as music, I don't know, because a lot of the groups I listen to, I wouldn't say they're quite indie, but they're not, they're not like big mainstream acts. I think Rihanna may be coming out with an album next year, possibly.
Nice.
That's got me a little curious. Evanescence might be coming out with something. But I mean, yeah, I have YouTube notifications on in case Conquer Divide comes out with something. Love those ladies. Never Tell. I know they put an album recently, but hopefully, they put out new music next year. So yeah, I really can't think of much beyond just what I do in my day to day that I'm hoping to really, carry us here. What about you though, man? What are you
buddy,
thinking about?
I have a fucking list.
Well, go through it then.
How about January 11th, Primal Season 3?
That's right. Thank you for reminding me because I know I alerted that in the Discord.
Yeah. How about also January 2026, Wonder Man?
Ooh, I keep forgetting about that. I hope that's good because I honestly keep forgetting about it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually seeing January 27th. They actually gave it a full release date, so let me add that. Which actually works out pretty well because literally the next day, January 28th, Shrinking Season 3.
Yeah, dude. That show is so beautiful. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And then we've also got Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 coming in February.
I honestly can't wait to rewatch season 1 with you just to really get it like sharp in my mind. Yeah, because a lot's faded on that, admittedly. So,
how about? Did you mention what did you say? The Boys are Invincible because the other one's also.
I said both. I said both. Boys and Invincible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too. Invincible is actually going to be first in March, and then The Boys is coming in April 8th. I'm seeing. Also, excuse me. We've got all kinds of fun movies coming out in 2026. The big one, though, being Avengers Doomsday coming at the end of the year next year.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. We're getting a live action Moana in 2026. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm hoping that that's good. We're getting Mortal Kombat 2 in 2026.
That I'm excited about. I don't think the first movie gets enough love, to be quite honest with you. I'm excited for the second one.
I'm excited to rewatch the first one with you, honestly.
Same, yeah.
We're also getting Supergirl in 2026.
That should be good. I mean, that line, if nothing else, he sees the good in people. I see the truth. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. All right.
We're getting the fucking Street Fighter movie in 2026, and that looks like a fun, like turn your brain off and just sit back and enjoy it kind of movie.
Yes.
That new Hunger Games movie looks fucking great, actually. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, that looks great.
It does, yes.
Spider-Man, I think Brand New Day might be coming out in 2026. That's going to be amazing, I hope.
Yes.
What else? Let's see. I think I'm going to end the movie talk there because there's also one music-related thing that I want to say. At the end of January, XG is dropping their first full-length album, their first studio album.
That is really exciting.
Yeah.
That is really exciting, yeah.
Yeah, because they've dropped 2 mini albums already. The first one was, I don't remember, but the second one was called Awe. The first one was called New DNA. It was New DNA,
okay.
The first one that came out in 2023. And then Awe came out in 2024. So 2025 is actually the first full year that XG has been active that they did not release any like actual like albums, even mini albums. But they're making up for it by dropping their first ever full length album at the beginning of 2026.
Very cool.
Yes. So that's pretty much all I have as far as what I'm looking forward to 2026. I will also say, just because this relates to the idea of like looking back on the year, looking forward to the next year, I wanted to ask you, John, did you want to on Wednesday night, maybe even at 10 o'clock, go live and do year-end awards just with what we already have filled out?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, there are a lot of blanks for me that I'm probably not going to fill in. But if you would just be cool doing what we filled in, I'd be fine with that. Yeah. I really, dude, when you revved up that question, because I've been meaning to ask you about year-end awards. I was about to have a panic attack, but then when you put that qualifier, I'm like, oh, we can do this. And to be fair, I will go through what I have blank and see if I could fill anything in. But yeah, there are probably going to be some blank categories, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think what I do have filled in though, I'm happy with. So yeah, we could absolutely do that. So you're saying Wednesday at 10, you want to come together and do this?
Basically as soon as Dynamite ends, we go live.
That sounds great to me, man. We can aim to do that. We could aim to do that. All right. So I guess, can I take us home then? Are we done?
Are we going to do high spots, low
Oh,
shots?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm still, in a way, I'm still kind of adjusting to all this. So yeah, high spots and low shots. Let's do that real quick. You know what? It's not often I use a low shot for a gleeful purpose. Easy low shot, Nicki Minaj. She tried to do the MAGA grift, and her social media fucking imploded to the point where she may even be quitting music altogether because she canceled an album that she was going to have coming out. And again, as I said earlier, nothing of value was lost that day. So Nicki Minaj, enjoy this L like every other one you're taking in your life right now. Who's your low shot?
Damn, that was a good one. I don't know if I can top that. I think I'm gonna just do the low-hanging fruit thing and say that my low shot is the right in general.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many different instances I've seen over the course of the last week or so of people who voted for Trump basically being like, well, shit. Sorry about that, everyone.
One thing we didn't talk about in politics, and I wish we would have then, because now I'm in the mindset of like going home, and so I don't want to dwell on this. We have a real problem with illiteracy in this country. And I'm not even saying that as like a meme or a joke. Like 2024 to 2025 statistics have come out. Yeah, it's bad. And in 2023 they were bad, and I think maybe they've gotten marginally better in some areas, but like there are a good chunk of adults in this country that can't read above a 6th grade level. And there are even like some adults that can't read above a 5th grade level. And I'm telling you, an illiterate population is a population easier to control. And that's why authoritarians hate education. They go after universities first and other school systems. I think what's so scary about their ultimate vision of replacing public education and potentially even certain segments of higher ed, if not all of higher ed, even depending on how ambitious they get, with AI, is that is just going to have an illiteracy crisis, because somebody ingeniously pointed out even the very concept of literacy is changing. Because I don't think, now I don't want to be too generalizing here, but I don't think you need to be as literate in like print media as you used to be. I feel like the new literacy is literacy in digital media, literacy in TikTok or tweets or this and that. And I know it sounds crazy, but like I do feel like even in a way I could be illiterate because the media in which one needs to be literate in is changing. And I don't think we're adapting quickly enough. And it's a deep concern that we don't talk about enough, including this show, because I
Does that
completely
make you
forgot about
wonder,
it.
though, what sort of my words are failing me, so I'm just going to work my way towards it.
Of course.
What the like ideals that they were using to describe literacy in the study that you looked at might have even been? Because if I think you and I both agree that like reading on paper isn't nearly as important as being able to read something online and comprehend it, and especially being able to discern whether something is made up or an ad or legit.
Exactly. Exactly. And to be fair, partner, I'm so glad that you phrased the question that way, because I don't think the recent study took all that nuance into account, which isn't to say that it's a bad study. I just think we need to really start looking at how did the one, I wish, dude, there are some Facebook posts that I regret not screenshotting and sharing in the Discord, even for my own personal archive. Because the person that did this whole post that I saw fucking nailed it. He's like, everybody's worried about a post-literate society, but we're already there, because what it means fundamentally to be literate has changed. And that's a conversation we desperately need to have on the left.
Dude,
We desperately need to have it as a society in
it
general.
is
Yes.
unbelievable that we as millennials are effectively the only generation ever to be fully and completely functionally literate online.
Yes.
And I really
Yes.
just have to emphasize that because we grew up being told by our parents, don't believe everything you see on the internet, be careful who you send your information to, etc., etc. The generations before us didn't have an internet, and the generations after us are not being taught that shit.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I've even been saying, to my slight credit, I think the last couple episodes, like, we really need to fundamentally change how media literacy is taught in schools. Of course, that would imply having a rigorous educational infrastructure, which is being actively dismantled. But, when I was in school, it was all about vetting sources and knowing how to cite them correctly and what site has an ideological bent. Like, they would have us go on, like, a white supremacist
Bro,
site
when I was in
versus,
school, they
like,
wouldn't even let us use Wikipedia as a citation, even though all the information on Wikipedia has citations at the bottom of the fucking page.
exactly. And now, and I've been saying this, and look, I know I say some like off the cuff shit, but I genuinely do believe that part of like post literate education today or being literate in new media should require, as part of it, being literate even in the Urban Dictionary. Because how many new words get invented like seemingly every year? And it's like, well, how does this fit in the broader lexicon? Like, what's happening? Like, for example, the term groiper, right? Which that's how Fuentes refers to all of his followers. I feel like that's a word that's probably going to gain currency potentially in a few years because even though I'm not as worried about Fuentes as I used to be, he still has the Republican Party in some kind of vice grip. Because anytime he wants those people ratioed, and you see the figures that are glazing him from Rogan to Vance is kind of giving him a pass, to Trump even said he doesn't have a problem with him, whatever. So terminology like Royper and stuff, you could be coming into this post-literate world and be like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what that is. People need to be educated on this lexicon. And so, yeah, literacy, I think, is fundamentally changed. And this conversation should have taken place in politics, and I apologize that it didn't. That is 100% on me. But it is something we need to talk about as a society. And definitely as a leftist movement, we need to know how to raise class consciousness and how to foment revolutionary ideals in an illiterate population. I mean, and look, I'm
And
not a
dude, now
tanky,
we've
but
even
yeah.
got a whole new type of literacy coming around of can you spot the AI?
Yes, you're so right. You're so right. And that's something where, if I'm being honest with you, bro, I'm scared of being illiterate in that regard because it's getting dicey out there.
See, and I almost am scared that I am becoming too untrusting. Like I am almost like scared that I am going to be like, oh, that's clearly AI about something that's actually fucking real, and like discredit something that deserves to have credit. You know what I mean?
Bro, no, bro, I understand your concerns completely because relevant to that subject, I need to share a story with you all. Because this regime is so unhinged and so malevolent and fucking awful, I saw a clip. I don't know if you saw this clip. I know you're not as like in the weeds as I am with the politics stuff, thank God. But I saw like a press conference that RFK gave, allegedly, right? Because it turned out to be AI. But
Oh,
it looked so convincing, and that's the thing to get to the ahead of the story. It was AI, but it was so convincing. I actually had to fact check through Google. Did RFK say this? Because he said, "I want to go after the fat gay kids," and I'm thinking, part of me is thinking like that has to be AI, right? But again, they're so unhinged already. I had to double check it. I'm like, did he actually say this on a hot mic? Because when have there ever been consequences for these people? Um, and it looked so real. It looked like RFK. It looked like Dr. Oz behind him. I hate everything about that sentence. Jesus fucking Christ. But I had to double check it through Google. And then what's gonna happen then though? Because Google already uses generative AI
yeah.
results. And so what happens when that
The
becomes more
old
totalizing?
the old AI summary.
Yeah, like what do we even fucking do? You have people being driven to psychosis from ChatGPT. Other people, now I'm seeing certain philosophers and media theorists talk about like erotic dynamics with AI, which I don't want to discount, but also
What?
like, do we really need to talk about that right now? Well, I mean, there are people that get fucking sexual with ChatGPT and or are probably waiting for their sex bots. And look, I do think that's a worthwhile topic that has nuance and variance, but like that's not my primary concern at present. Um, it really is just a brave new world that I think so many of us in different ways are under equipped for. Like I really don't think I will adapt well. If I'm just being honest about my skill set and I'm exercising enough humility about what I lack, which is quite a bit, this new age is going to kick my ass because I really don't know. Like I think AI is getting so sophisticated. I don't know. I feel like I am inevitably going to post something in the Discord, and one of you hopefully will have to fact check me and be like, bro, it was AI. Because here's the problem too. A lot of the AI checkers, either A, they can say something's real when it's AI, but then also I've seen people post stuff that genuinely came from them, and the checker will say this is 100% AI or like 90% AI. So even the checkers, which and this is something I should say too, they would probably be better quality if you paid for them. And this is again a problem with capitalism. They're incentivizing, they're trying to make profitable, they're trying to make a business out of a problem that it already created. So it's like a circularity, right? You use the free version, you're going to get mixed results. But hey, if you pay the subscription fee of like $25 a month, then you'll get more accurate results. And I hate it here.
I'd also just like to point out that they have effectively commodified or commoditized, I don't know what the word is, poisoning the well.
Yeah. He said it. He said, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, because you said the MAGA movement and people like apologizing and stuff. And then I said they're probably only apologizing because they were illiterate about a lot of stuff and they were easier to control. And I mean, that illiteracy goes all the way back to that one video I saw where the guy was, a tariff is
the video where the guy is what?
Well, where a MAGA voter had to have explained to him in real time what a tariff is, and you could see the look on his face change about him voting against his own interest.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, when people are like, John, are you sure? Because, we seem to use a lot of the same language. Are you sure you're not a capitalist? Yeah, I'm sure. Because let me explain something. When it comes to capitalists, one thing that we don't mention about the definition of a capitalist is who owns the means of production. Who owns the fucking resources? Who is able to dole out meager wages?
Billionaires.
And the billionaires are the capitalists. If you're a worker in a capitalist system, that doesn't make you a capitalist. Engels, like over a century ago and some change, said that's literally false consciousness. When you're a worker working for a slave wage, because especially that's what minimum wage is fucking today, it's fucking meager as shit. And you're like, I'm a capitalist. No, you're not. Do you own the means of production? Do you own capital? Then you're not a capitalist. Do you work for a subsistence wage? You're not a capitalist. That's false consciousness. Stop it. I wish I had a spray bottle, for fuck's sake. So no, none of us are capitalists, because unless you own capital, unless you own the means of production, you're not a fucking capitalist. You have false consciousness. And stop being proud of your false consciousness. Stop it. So that's my cat kind of parent lecture there. And I wish more people understood that, because and really, I have to give credit to some Instagram user, because that's where I got that from, that fucking articulated it so clearly. It's like, no, you're not a capitalist. You're somebody under capitalism. The capitalists are the billionaires. Those are the only fucking capitalists. Them and maybe some of their auxiliaries, if they have a share in the capital and the means of production. But that's it. It ain't you, baby. It ain't fucking you. So, on to high spots. Oh my God, my high spot should be the ghost of Marx and Engels, because they were fucking right about so much, and everybody was like,
no. Proletariat.
Exactly. You're so cute. I love that I get to do the revolution with you. Yeah, so my high spot, I want to make it the ghost of Marx and Engels, but I can't. So you know what? Because I'm just broken as a person, I'm just going to give my high spot to Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and now Pluribus, because what a fine piece of art he's created that's allowed me to just forget about things and focus on philosophical questions and problems that I deeply enjoy and that bring me a lot of contentment. So, Vince Gilligan, sir, for making such a fine and wonderful piece of art, all of which is guaranteed to have a second season, I salute you and I give you my high spot. Who is your high spot, good sir?
I think my high spot brain is just all out of juice, so I'm going to go for the low-hanging fruit and say that my high spot is the no, that doesn't work, does it? Shit.
I know you'll never do this, and I know this is me being unhinged, but give it to yourself. Give it to your own face right now. I will co-sign and we can go home. It is excellent, it is superior, and everyone could fucking learn from it. Do it.
I mean, if you take a breath and let me talk here.
Sorry. What did you figure out?
You're right. I am the high spot this week.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Because I got like almost $300 and Kirby Air Riders for Christmas. I mean, how do you beat that?
Oh God, it's happening! Yes! Yes! I co-sign yes! You're better than everyone else. It's over, the segment's done. Oh my God, yes, let's go home. Everybody leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. We are the best podcast on the internet today. I mean, who else cackles like I do? Name a fucking one. You can't, because I'm excellent. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best podcast on the internet today. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys just Wednesday for well, actually, bro, another
we're
thing
definitely
too.
going to want to do Marigold and Stardom this week for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So are we also going to do Marigold earlier that Wednesday, or should we try and do
we'll
Marigold
do
even like
Marigold
Tuesday?
at 6 on Wednesday.
6 on Wednesday, and then year-end awards, or what there is of it, at 10, and then Stardom Thursday at 7. And then if you're just here for this because you're like, I don't do all that Joshi stuff. I mean, first of all, how dare you? But second of all, fine, cool, you know, whatever. It's 10:30. 10:30 every Saturday. You can join us for that. If you just want to hear us just talk about all this stuff that we just talked about. So yeah, guys. Yeah, bask in his ass. Anyway, yeah, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Tune in and peace out.